So let's start off with the foundation, why energy metabolism controls your mind. So most of you know this, but let's just go over it a bit more. Brain consumes 20% of the body's energy, despite being only 2% of body weight. The neurons require massive ATP to maintain electrical gradients, synthesize neurotransmitters, and clear waste. When cellular energy production fails, the brain's most energy-demanding regions fail first. This is vitally important that you guys understand this. Those controlling mood, cognition, and stress response are the ones that fail first. This energy crisis manifests as depression, anxiety, brain fog, and fatigue. And the brain's extraordinary energy demands make it uniquely vulnerable to metabolic dysfunction. When mitochondria can't meet these demands, mental health suffers first. So what the mitochondria actually do for the brain, many of us just think that they're the powerhouses, or they're actually the cellular command centers determining neuronal health and function. Firstly, they regulate neurotransmitter synthesis, and they control cellular calcium, which is critical for neuronal signaling. They produce neurosteroids, govern apoptosis, and generate signaling molecules that influence gene expression. So they're not just the powerhouse, they are a master control. We have brain-specific vulnerability. So neurons can't switch to glycolysis for energy like other cells. They're utterly dependent on mitochondrial oxidative phosphorylation. A 20% reduction in neuronal ATP triggers dysfunction, with a 50% causing cell death. It's very important that you think, oh, it's only 20% reduction. Well, look how dangerous that actually is. You got regional susceptibility. So the hippocampus, which is for memory and mood, your prefrontal cortex for executive function, and your anterior cingulate cortex, which is your emotion regulation, have the highest energy demands. When mitochondria fail, these regions dysfunction first. So there's primary causes. What are there? There's 5 primary causes of mitochondrial dysfunction. Blood sugar dysregulation. So glucose fluctuations, insulin resistance, and metabolic inflexibility. We have nutrient deficiencies, B vitamins, magnesium, CoQ10, iron, and omega-3 depletion. Toxic assault, so environmental toxins, pharmaceutical, and endogenous toxins from gut dysbiosis. Chronic stress, cortisol damage, oxidative cascade, and resource depletion. And finally, circadian disruption. So light exposure patterns, if you're a shift worker, and sedentary behavior. Let's go into a little bit of detail on each one. We're going to look at the blood sugar dysregulation and insulin resistance. So you've got the glucose roller coaster. So rapid blood sugar fluctuations lead to reactive hypoglycemia, which releases stress hormones that trigger anxiety and panic. This chronic instability also causes mitochondrial damage through oxidative stress and glycation. We've got the brain insulin resistance. So despite high blood sugar, the brain becomes unable to utilize glucose efficiently. Neurons effectively starve, triggering depression, cognitive decline, and anxiety. We have the age formation. So high blood sugar creates advanced glycation end products known as age. That directly damages mitochondrial proteins and DNA, and this triggers neuroinflammation. We've got metabolic inflexibility, so chronic high-carb diets, typical US diet. It impairs mitochondria's ability to switch between glucose and fat metabolism, creating vulnerability to energy crises between meals. The nutrient deficiencies that cripple mitochondria, for those of you that were actually present for the gut talk, you'll understand where this may be coming from. So let's have a look at it. We've got B vitamin depletion. So thiamine required for pyruvate dehydrogenase. Deficiencies cause anxiety and depression. You've got the B2, which is essential for complex 1 and 2 of the mitochondrial electron chain. Low levels create chronic fatigue. We have B3, which forms NAD+, and that's the mitochondrial master coenzyme. B5, 6, 9, and 12, which are critical for various mitochondrial processes. With the mineral deficiencies, we're looking more towards magnesium. So it's required for 300 plus enzymes, including all ATP-dependent processes. We have iron, which is required for cytochrome enzymes, but it is toxic in excess, so we've got to watch for that. You've got your cofactor depletion. So your CoQ10, which is your essential electron carrier in the mitochondrial respiratory chain, and your omega-3s. So DHA comprises a mitochondrial membrane, and deficiencies impair membrane fluidity. Now, most of you that have dealt with clients will know that most people have got deficiencies in these, and we have 80% of people are deficient in magnesium and are low in omega-3 levels, strongly depicting depression and anxiety. Let's look at the toxic assault on mitochondria. This is very interesting. We have the environmental toxins like heavy metals, mercury, lead, cadmium. They directly poison mitochondrial enzymes. We have pesticides. They accumulate in the mitochondrial membrane, uncoupling energy production. We have mold mycotoxins. They damage the mitochondrial DNA and trigger inflammatory cascades. We have fluoride, which inhibits complex 1, reducing ATP by 50% at common exposure levels. Pharmaceutical damage. We have antibiotics, especially the fluoroquinolones. They damage mitochondrial DNA. The statins block CoQ10 synthesis. Metformin inhibits complex 1. Benzodiazepines disrupt mitochondrial calcium regulation, and some antidepressants impair mitochondrial function. From the talk with the guts, you should be remembering the LPS, lipopolysaccharides. That's an endotoxin, which damages mitochondrial membranes. We've also got the D-lactate from SIBO rather than the L-lactate. We've got the D-lactate, and it impairs respiration. And ammonia from bacterial overgrowth disrupts the urea cycle and poisons mitochondria. So you can see that our clients that are coming to us may have a number of things that are assaulting their mitochondria, and we need to be fully aware of these things. Let's look at chronic stress, which is the mitochondria killer. Many of you that are in our subscriptions will know that we have the stress workshop. This is why it is number one. It does not come it does not come after the gut workshop. Stress workshop is number one. This is why it's so important. Cortisol's direct damage. Chronic cortisol elevation damages mitochondrial DNA. It reduces biogenesis, and it impairs respiratory train function. Stress literally breaks your cellular power plants. We have the oxidative cascade, where we have psychological stress. This leads to an excess calcium influx, which leads to mitochondrial calcium overload, massive ROS production, which leads to mitochondrial DNA damage. This then impairs energy production, which creates depression and anxiety.